Alright, hello and welcome to League of Loggers. This week is episode 9. We're going to be discussing week 8.
Totally titled it wrong.
We're going to be discussing some week 8 LCS and basically just train wrecks all around for most people. But
I mean, some trains less wrecked.
our host this evening, as always, Kurtis James.
Yo.
We've got Heather, Stormy, and Chase Viking Redbeard.
Yeah. On that note, at Elite Smash Den, somebody definitely said, so, aside from Viking Redbeard, what are you known as? Like, asking what my name was. I'm like, well, Chase is Viking Redbeard. He's like, oh, so you're just Kurtis. I was like, yeah. He's like, I thought it was Chase and Viking Redbeard. And I was like, no. He's like, that's weird, because, like, your beard, I'm like, is redder than his. I'm aware. That just came up, like, a couple days ago. Like, you still have redness in your beard, but I also have, like, redder hair to start with. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, I should have gone with, well, he's
offended him over here.
I should have said, he's the one who's obviously more physically built like a Viking. I would be the scrawniest Viking ever.
You can be, oh, what's his name? I just
The Viking who paints the shields and stays
How to
home.
Train Your Dragon.
Oh, I'm okay with that, because he has slowly started looking like, what's the guy, Jim from The Office.
Yes, man,
What is that actor's name?
John Krasinski.
Yeah, if I can grow up to look like John Krasinski, that'd be great. I think I'm older than him. Probably not, no. Also, can I marry Emily Blunt? That'd be solid.
Just do that.
Me too?
Yeah, me too. I just found out the other day that one of the dudes from SNL is, like, married to Scarlett Johansson. I was like,
what?
The fuck? Yeah. The guys who do the Weekend Update or whatever, the news thing. So Michael Che and it's the other dude.
Okay,
The
cool.
white
I'll have to
one.
look that up. Didn't even know.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Alright, we're supposed to do the off-topic shit before I intro us.
Yeah,
That's why I
I
was
know.
waiting to intro us, because...
Nah.
And then you're like, why don't you intro us? And then I did, and you're like, fuck off, let's talk
You
about
said
some
the
random
Redbeard
bullshit.
thing.
Ugh.
Anyway, back to those train wrecks that you said. No, first things first. Team Liquid, they were already qualified for playoffs. They have locked in first place. First place is theirs, done. And that was after day 1. Like, I think the moment they won, they were locked in.
Yeah, they just required one
I'm thinking
win
like
this
day
weekend.
1.
Week 1, day 1? No.
They're in.
Yes.
Team Liquid.
Week
To-
1,
to
day
be
1, they
fair,
were locked in.
We all bet that they would be first, I believe, didn't we?
I don't
First,
think I did.
first. No, yep, first all around.
Okay.
So we're all correct.
All right.
Cheers to us.
Yay.
Also then, we had 3 other teams lock in their spots. Cloud9, TSM, and FlyQuest. So those teams all in.
I have FlyQuest for 4th, by the way, so I'm really happy about this right now.
Yeah, you have FlyQuest 4th, Chase had them 10th.
So my first...
Yes.
What was my third? CLG. So CLG, TSM was the
Yeah,
wrong.
you had TSM 5, you had them 4.
Okay.
And I had FlyQuest 8 and TSM 5. So we each have 2 playoff teams correct. So,
I have...
oh wait, 3,
I
because
have
we all have
3.
Cloud9 in.
Yeah.
We all have them number 2.
Yeah.
Which is almost definitely going to be the case.
So I
I'm
have
just gonna
3 picks and
bring
y'all
this
have
over
2?
here.
Let's see.
But yeah, so, you guys are so random sometimes. We are! What's up, Devin and Jeff? So anyway, those 3 teams also in playoffs.
So
Only-
Cloud9 locked in the number 2 seed, correct, at this
No,
point? No,
that is not the case yet.
Okay.
We'll get there, but the only one team is knocked out, 100 Thieves. And no one was surprised. I mean, no one who has existed the rest of this split. Like, if you just time travel from week 1, you're like, hold on, like, they had a rough week, but what?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 4 and 12,
I'm alright
man.
with it. They don't...
4 and
they
12
didn't
with
deserve
CLG and Optic to go. Maybe they pick up a win?
Nah.
So did we decide Golden Guardians went 4 and 12 that first time? Or was it like,
They
I thought it
went
was a little
3,
higher.
then 4. They have now matched their complete win total from last season.
Really? They only got 3 wins total?
3 in the first split, 4 in the second split. We had said they were going to get 5 this time.
Okay, I thought we looked it up not that long ago and we were like a number off.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I think 6 is what they had total. And it's like, wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, we were off the other direction.
Yeah, they
Never
got
mind.
1 more each time.
Rough. I was hoping that maybe 100 Thieves could like claim a title for having like the worst record, but fucking I didn't wear my hat today. Womp womp.
Yeah, no, if they lose both, they will tie Golden Guardians, which was 10th from last split. Golden Guardians from the split before, still worse than that. However, there are teams who have only won one game all split. That has happened pre-franchising.
Okay.
So.
And we've even still got some of that like going on over in Europe right now.
Yes, and this is their first franchise split for them.
That's amusing.
Isn't like not Griffin? It's something Jin Air. Aren't they? Like
Jin Air is really bad right now too.
0 or 1 win.
They're pretty atrocious. As
Griffin's
is
the opposite of that, except they did.
There's some other team. No, all the LPL ones are still good. Oh, it was the Vietnamese team lost everyone.
I don't know anything about it.
The Vietnamese team from Worlds lost everyone, and they're dead fucking last. I think something like that. It's real bad.
Anyways, back to LCS.
Yeah, absolutely.
100 Thieves 4-11.
So 100 Thieves first team out.
4-12.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this.
I'm
This
alright
is just
with it too.
rather amusing. Why are you alright with this? You still voted for them this week.
Only because I really do like Bang. I think Someday's alright. And I hate Moo. I think Moo is the entire reason they've lost so many.
Yes.
So I want to go ahead and we're going to go a little bit out of my typed up order here, just because right away off the bat we had Minimit say, I thought Echo Fox would be knocked out first. And I think we should right away, let's talk about Echo Fox had a 2-0 weekend. Because they were tied for last heading into this week with 100 Thieves. And now they're a bubble team.
And weren't we even saying that the day 2 game was like basically the bubble wrapped midget wrestling match?
Yeah,
They showed up.
They were both last place. Yeah, one team
up.
showed up.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Echo Fox this week, because they got the unexpected win over Cloud9, first of all.
Good job,
And then
Fox.
they didn't just beat 100 Thieves, they demolished 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion. Even though Saligo looks like a good adjustment for 100 Thieves, I mean, 2 weeks in now that he's
I think
played?
Saligo plays very well. Better than Huhi.
I think he's good, but the rest of the team is not playing great, obviously. And Echo Fox made no adjustments. Or no, they did. They brought Rush back in.
They did bring Rush.
Yeah.
And Rush looked good!
He looked revitalized. He looked like he came back and he was like, I remember how to play the game, guys. I was sick. I had brain syphilis. We're done.
Brain
He
syphilis.
said, in, I don't know if it was a pregame interview or postgame the first day or something, he said, oh, yeah, we were losing because I wasn't playing.
It was post.
And then the second...
I think this line needs to be off.
And then the second interview, the second interview, or second day interview or whatever, they're like, oh, Rush said it was because he wasn't playing. Why do you think it is? And it was Apollo, I think. He's like, it's definitely because Rush wasn't, he's laughing about it. But yeah, they looked really cohesive. What I thought, I think I said a little bit to it, last week, where I was just like, I feel like they're better than this. But I don't know that I thought they were this much better.
Yeah, no, I think them being bubble team is about the best that they should have hoped for, and the fact that they're there now a week early is good for them. They still have a very, very small chance.
They do have Liquid left to play, and CLG though. But CLG is one of your competitors for that spot.
Well, what's funny is we said that I don't know that we said. I know that I said at best they had a 1-for-1 coming up. Maybe they just got their 2 wins in this week, and they're gonna poop the bed next week.
And they would definitely miss if that were the case. But if so, they're gonna kind of waste that unexpected Cloud9 win. That Cloud9 win is not something anyone expected to get. Whether you're Cloud9, whether you're Echo Fox, whether you're anyone else in the league, nobody's like, okay, Fox is gonna get the Cloud9 win, so we have to be thinking that no. Yeah. They got this. That's a gift. If they can go 1-1 next week, that might be enough to get them in.
Sounds very similar to another team that won a game this week.
Yeah, that's another topic. We'll come back around to it. But any other thoughts on Echo Fox,
I guess,
with their 2-0? Because I think they're looking pretty good heading into the end here. Just, them specifically, they look good. And their bot lane is amazing at Scion Speedway.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We can talk about that now or whenever.
We'll cover that at the end.
In a little.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
That'll be a nice tag ending.
Did they actually do a speedway?
Yeah. Well, so the post day 2 stuff always they grab 2 players from the same team always, and so last week had Onda, and that's when I was like, I hope nobody's watching this. Onda was definitely crying 5 minutes ago.
I remember that.
But no, it was Hakuho and Apollo, and they destroyed it.
They've got 1 and 2 on the placement.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like by a margin.
Yeah, and he pulled out something that no one had done before and giving him an extra 2 seconds on.
Yeah,
on the
fuck
game.
it. We'll just
We'll
talk about now.
later.
No,
Okay,
we'll talk about now
good,
real quick
cool.
because we've mostly said it.
Yeah.
So the best was Huni prior, and then some other people behind him. Hakuho had gone like prior to the segment being live or whatever. They had recorded it, and his time he was pretty clean. He had one big mistake right at the end of the game, so we're like, we'll see where it is. And he had beat Huni like by a full second or whatever. And we're talking like it's a 40-second run.
Yeah.
Like best times. So he had like a 39-second run. And after his run, he had said to Apollo, like he had come up with this idea. He's like, oh shit. So he asked the ref, he's like, hey, is this legal? Because like they, basically their ult's on a nothing cooldown, like it's in the practice tool. So it's like, okay, you have to follow this path. You can have whatever actives you want. You can't flash like past a section of it. You can flash forward, whatever. And you can use all the actives just once, like all your items once. And his idea was, hey, is the warding trinket count as an item? Can I use it? And they're like, yeah, it's an item. You can use it. You can use it once, but you can use it. And so there's these, there's also the practice dummies along the way. It's kind of like a thing you might hit and slow you down with your ultimate Scion. And he said, hey, if you take, was it Righteous Glory?
Righteous Glory.
He's like, if you take Righteous Glory, Apollo, like, people use it, but what you don't realize is that the passive, you actually need vision of an enemy in order to get the speed up towards it. Mm-hmm. He's like, so if you drop a blue trinket on this one, when you're here, you'll get Righteous Glory boost the whole way through that. So, like, Apollo's, like, already crushing it. Like, he's got a cleaner run than Hako to start. And then he drops the trinket ward and just through this section. It's like, what the fuck just happened?
It was almost a full 2 seconds earlier than Huni, so he got 39.
Yeah, I think it was over 2 better than Huni. Because he beat Hakuho by, like, a second and a half.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah, it was just like, dude, that's, like, galaxy brain shit.
It was so cool to watch.
Like, oh, yeah.
Because when I watch it, I'm just like, I wonder why he did that. I've never seen anybody else do that. Maybe he just like was clicking buttons and then they explained it at the end. I was like, damn.
Yeah. And Hakuho was like, I'm just sad I thought of it after my run. But yeah, so that it was just fun. Like,
do you have it? Like, because I had it and I sent it.
Oh, yeah,
just
I
so you
do
can see.
have it.
You didn't see
We'll pull up the clip here quick.
All right, we're gonna watch a clip now.
Oh, it's gonna take a little bit. Keep talking.
Like,
Talk
And
about
when we're talking and
talk about Echo Fox themselves just a bit more. If you have anything else to say about them.
Diligent. I'm just
We're just reading.
No, so
what comes after
Fox's
DIL?
game against Cloud9, like
Diminished.
That was crazy. I was expecting Fox to just come in and just do what they've done the last 3 weeks and just quietly lose, and then they
look good against C9, and C9 looked good too. It's not like C9 was just like we're trash for starters.
There was a couple of mistakes that Cloud9 made. I feel like.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of those was pivotal. I don't remember the exact play.
I feel like Cloud9 kind of threw super hard.
Maybe.
Personally.
Fox finds a team fight. Zazel goes back in, and that's where that was.
There was a clear.
He goes back in on the Jinx Chompers, and then they get 4 kills in Baron and Cloud. That's when Fox turned it around.
Here is the Apollo run.
Apollo run.
World record right now.
You can always take the stance of we were just doing it for the team play.
Okay, so that's a really good.
Oh, that was smooth.
That's super pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, so he's actually
It's
on
the
the
only
face
place
right now.
Hako can just give us his expert breakdown, being the best side one.
All right, well, right here, you just pop every
good
single
run so
action
far.
you have and you win.
Yeah, so this is like no skill required. You literally
Wait,
right
I
click.
showed him a new strategy too.
So that,
His own
so he
trinket
gets
to
to do
spot.
righteous
Yeah, yeah.
glory.
That's actually so
Yeah,
smart.
so I came up with this after I already did mine, unfortunately. So I could have shaded like 2 seconds
This
off
one
mine.
is
This is
fucking clean, by the way.
absurdly good.
This is maybe
He's
some
like the
point.
only
I'm
one
pretty
who's gotten
sure
all the way
I
through that
lost.
jungle without hitting a wall.
I'm pretty sure you lost too.
Oh my word.
I should have told him. I
What? I was so
I should not have told him about the trick.
Holy crap! That was the best
Yeah.
one I've actually done.
All right, get over here.
Is he
Now?
good enough?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
release. And there's the scores.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
You're right.
He's almost 3 full seconds.
Yes. That's crazy, guys.
Like, that's disgusting. Also, look how bad Acadian is. Acadian was such a dumpster baby run.
I'd be terrible at that too. I'd run into everything.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it is good to know that Echo Fox can be on top of something this split, because it is not.
They went 2-0 this week. Okay, what was the biggest difference? What changed the way they were playing before then and the way they are now? Like,
Jinx's win rate was 100%
yeah,
through that match.
the one game they played.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think they just played smart as a team, personally. I don't know. I mean, and yeah, Rush playing insane. You're definitely not wrong there. I think Rush, whatever he was doing at the beginning of the season with Kurtis jungle, all that shit, he got it out of his system, and he played really well this week.
Yes. And he played on J4, which the last time we saw Rush on J4, he made a bunch of mistakes and just did not look good. And then they brought in Panda, like, literally the next week.
And to be fair, it also helps that I believe Cloud9 threw that game pretty fucking hard.
Isn't
like,
that what I said in the chat today? Is I'm
did.
pretty sure that, like...
No, you absolutely did. And I don't think that's a controversial opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
Granted, Echo Fox did play well. Cloud9 had that big throw where, like, Zazel fucking Justice punched into the Chompers, and then they kept, like, filtering in and dying one after the other. But after that, Echo Fox still had to win it, because Cloud9's beaten other teams from behind. They've almost thrown other games, and, like, they did... The 2 games they've thrown have been CLG and Fox, but they've tried to throw a couple other ones, and managed to not. So.
And I got to see Phoenix's Azir. I don't know if he played it at all earlier in the
how did we not mention that is also a part of their winning? Phoenix on Azir is disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
The part where he almost solos Svenskeren, I have a little flowchart. He ults, and then he's getting out. Then he has the Zonias, and then he has to flash on top of that just to escape being killed by it.
Yeah, well, and he quadras at the end.
Yes.
Like, Phoenix is known for Azir. That's his signature pick. And
it was fun to
And he
watch.
picked it, and it showed the fuck up. So yeah, I think Echo Fox said that looked good. So let's go ahead and talk about, though, in general, both Cloud9 and Team Liquid dropped a game this week. That has not happened all split. Cloud9 had lost
weekend, you mean?
Yeah, Cloud9 had lost in week 1, 2, and 7. TL had only lost in week 4, and then they both lose in week 8, and not to like each other or other top team. I guess the closest is TL lost to FlyQuest, the 4th ranked team, but Cloud9 lost to a tied for last team at that point.
Yeah.
And although I have to say, Cloud9 threw. Team Liquid got beat.
Yeah.
Like, straight up, FlyQuest just won. Like, Wild Turtle looking like a boss this weekend.
I don't know that it would, like, I think that was still a very close game.
Right, but I was just saying, it wasn't
FlyQuest
anything
definitely
Team
won.
Liquid did to assist FlyQuest win. FlyQuest just did it better.
Yes.
That's
I
kind of
agree.
what... Yeah, because, I mean...
Very much agree.
They
They had
it's not
dragons,
that, like
both
I said,
sides.
Echo Fox still gets credit for, taking that moment and then continuing to win with it, but FlyQuest gets, credit for just
winning.
not screwing up and letting Team Liquid win either.
So, for the Team Liquid loss, can I talk about the loss?
Yeah.
Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that he was on his Vayne rather than, a lot of the other more viable AD carries? I know, like, day one, they had, like, the interview, like, as the matches were starting, and they were like, so, Double Lift's on the Vayne, like, that's his, like, favorite champ, like, why'd you let him do it? And he was just like, well, Peter came up to me and was like, if you give me Vayne, I will carry.
Yeah, I got that.
And he was like, so I couldn't say no.
And to be fair, despite FlyQuest coming, like, hard at bot lane early, he was still doing pretty well through the mid-game.
Yeah.
I think the bigger problem wasn't the Vayne itself, but the composition picked around the Vayne. They had no front line.
Yeah,
Their pseudo front line is Kennen, whose ult will zone everyone away.
Mm-hmm.
Vayne requires people to keep her off of her. She needs some beefy boys in the front.
With a taunt,
they
like
really
a
didn't have beefy
Galio
boys.
or
Right, yeah. Galio, Alistar, a tank jungler, or, even something like a Jarvan where he can zone people out physically. Like, if the Kennen ult goes bad, or, like, if Kennen dies immediately, like in that Baron fight, there's no zoning for Vayne, and that's what happened. Like, the Baron fight, they go and they immediately pop Kennen, who never gets off his ult, so he can't and he doesn't Zonias either, which is normally, he would just ult Zonias, and everybody's, like, stuck and getting stunned, and Vayne just rips through them. Instead, he's gone, Braum walks up, autos her once, and then so everybody you just have to get an auto off after Vayne's ult tumble, like when she reappears, you auto her, and boop, boop, all of a sudden she's locked up, and you kill her. And that's, like, she did a lot of damage in the, like, second and a half before she died. Mm-hmm. But, like, if she would have had, like, an Alistar support rather than a Rakan, he probably could have gotten there and, like, just frontlined a little bit for her or something, or, like, a tanky jungler, top laner, but I mean, they had Kennen and Rek'Sai.
Those
aren't gonna do it.
I think I said to my...
And Rakan's more about going in than staying back.
Yeah, I didn't like their comp. I did not think it was a good...
Yeah, and he misplayed the QSS as well. He actually... What did he QS? He QSS'd before the lockdown hit him. So something else hit him, ate the QSS, and then the stun.
Yeah.
And, I mean, like, and maybe if the QSS is there, they get more damage off, but they don't win that fight still. He still gets blown up a moment later. Mm-hmm. So, there's lots of little things, like, obviously a different pick. It doesn't have to be as dangerous either. So, I agree with you on that if he's, like, on Sivir or something. But I don't think the Vayne was the biggest issue, except for, if you want to say, they didn't pick a comp around the Vayne.
They picked Braum first. Like,
yeah.
Basically, it was LeBlanc, and then they picked... Because if I was Team Liquid and I thought Double Lift might get Vayne, I would have picked Braum. Because that's a good pick to go with Vayne. Rakan just didn't have, like, synergy with what Vayne can do.
Right, yeah.
Especially,
Vayne and Braum has good synergy, too. I mean, most things that Braum do.
Condemn someone, like, out of Rakan's little, chop. Like, she can do all sorts of things that will fuck the just combo-wombo. But Core JJ also misplays in this match, I think, at least once or twice, and I hate having to say it, but he Zonias randomly. And,
you can't be mad about it. The dude's been stellar.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he hasn't been insane, but he's been very, very good.
Very consistent.
Like, he's definitely an MVP candidate. He's probably the leading candidate for MVP at this point, Core JJ.
I just think this wasn't a good game for him. He didn't play that well.
Yeah, I mean,
there could be another factor here. I mean, you're more likely to goof around, more likely to screw off when you know that you've got one of the top two spots locked in.
I consider that, yeah.
And they have the top spot locked in, actually, before this match even happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, then there you go. So, it's possible that, like, since they don't have to contest anything now that they lost the game to TSM earlier, it's not like they had the perfect run going still. Right. So we could play something that's more fun, just kind of goof around, and.
That's true.
But I don't know that I would argue that's what they did. Your game, I would argue that one.
Yeah. No, I think that Team Liquid, like, they played well. It's just FlyQuest played better.
Yeah. Now, actually, had this been like the first Kennen game for Impact, I might have said that. But he played Kennen last week and had like the game-winning flank. So it's just like, okay, Impact knows how to play Kennen. I mean, he knows how to play everything. Let's be honest. I generally don't like him off of tanks. I still think he should not be getting put on that Jace they keep picking. But, and actually, that's a topic for later that when I bring up. Not specifically Impact on the Jace, but Jace and Aatrox, etc.
Trash change.
But yeah, so, any other thing we want to say about Team Liquid or Cloud9 dropping their games? I think Cloud9, I mean, that's a game they could have won, and Zeyzal, for one of the few times, like, he's made a few mistakes all season, obviously. And usually they're not hard punished for it, but that was a big one. It's like, hey, mid-game.
It turned the game.
But had the rest of the team not also gone, oh, we can save him, I think that would have also been okay. But instead they give up 4 kills and a Baron off of it.
I want to talk about another champ when we go to your Jace section here.
Yeah, no problem. So, I'll put Chase as something.
The Fly win over
crazy.
TL.
I want to chat about Rek'Sai.
Which is surprising.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be separate then. So anyway, yeah. So we're all pretty covered on that. So let's talk about...
Who did that trash Aatrox? You know what? I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
So let's talk about... like, we talked about the team, or we mentioned the teams that are all in. We mentioned the one team that's out. There's 2 spots left. And so we have 5 bubble teams competing for this still. Leading that pack, we have Golden Guardians at 7-9. Trailing the pack, we have Clutch, who did pick up a win, who did not pick up a win, so they stayed at 5 wins and 11 losses now. And right in the middle, we have all 3 tied at 6 and 10, CLG Echo Fox, who got the 2-0, and Optic. 2 of these teams get in. Who's in, who's out, guys?
GG's.
Clutch is definitely out. Like, I mean, just
they
by who they
TSM
play.
and Cloud9.
Yeah, that's rough.
Like, I mean, you mentioned last week, you're like, they have the hardest out schedule. They have Team Liquid, TSM, and Cloud9. We didn't even mention they also had Golden Guardians as their 4th game in there. Like, yeah, they should. They'll
it can go either way.
They'll probably run out 0-4 now, though.
I think so.
So, yeah, I think I agree with you guys. Clutches, they are done for.
Bye,
yeah, which is so depressing because, like, even, like, in these matches, DeMonte showed, like, moments of brilliance. Like,
Who's still not showing moments of brilliance, though?
Huni.
Yeah.
everyone else on the
Piglet.
team.
Or Lyra. Yeah, you're correct. Wait, who's their support again?
Is that Vulcan? Not Vulcan.
Vulcan.
Vulcan, yeah.
Yeah. Vulcan's fine, Demonte's fine.
Yeah,
Great.
but your support can't carry the team as we know through Afromu.
Yeah.
No, he's the one dragging them down
Yeah.
right now.
He's an anchor. He should just change his name to Anchor.
So, okay, if we're all saying Clutch is out,
Yeah.
do we? You're not wearing the hat this week. Are you just trying not to jinx it?
I just totally spaced today. Like
That's
I
a good
didn't,
answer. I just forgot.
I didn't wear it to work today, and I didn't.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Golden Guardians is in. They look like, I mean, despite having lost to TSM the way they did, which it worked out really well for TSM early and it snowballed hard. I don't think that Golden Guardians necessarily played that match poorly. It just went
They got
poorly.
Pretty, yeah, they got pretty stomped. But
I think Golden Guardians is still possibly better than FlyQuest. They might be the 4th best team in the league.
I don't know that I agree with that, but I do think they are a good team that has worked together this weekend.
I think that they have vastly improved from week 1. Like from week 1 to where we are now, like they're a different team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, yeah.
Yes.
So much better. So
Yeah.
much. I was worried about them after 2
especially
weeks.
Ole too. Like I was not happy with him the first couple weeks.
They started 0-4.
Yeah.
They've gone 7-5 since then.
That's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, is it
7-5
over
after that.
500 total? No. 7-5, not much over 500 even, but still, overall, they're there. They're doing all right. If you don't start 0-4, they could be in 4th place. They could be in 3rd place. They would be locked in already if they don't start 0-4, because one more game will get them in, I believe.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
so next week they
yeah.
play Optic and FlyQuest. I think Optic is probably a pretty easy win for them. And FlyQuest could really go either way because, I mean, FlyQuest has also played just as well as them and also played just as terrible as them.
I wouldn't say Optic's an easy win. I mean, it's the easier one, but Optic's only a game behind them in the standings. And Optic also went on an 0-5 streak early on in the season when they were fucking around with random, getting their actual roster people in and whatnot.
Yeah, but they did lose to CLG this week, so...
They did not. They did. You're right.
So it's just CLG, I think, is another team that's not good, but if CLG is winning against Optic... I know that's not how that always works.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to come down to pick spans and everything on the Rift, but I think that Optic is pretty close to a confirmed win, and FlyQuest is probably the more one I'm going to be on the fence with.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're already qualified. They're a game ahead of Golden Guard, or 2 games
Ooh,
up
can
on
we get
Golden
some
Guardians right
collusion
now.
or some sandbagging
No,
happening?
I think just in general, though, to talk about specifically about Golden Guardians and why I think they'll be in, I've got to agree with Alan. Deftly is so good. He manages to be perfectly spaced all the time. His KDA was amazing last year when he was on the 10th place team, and it's still good. It wasn't a matter of him just hiding as everybody else died. He was doing good shit, and he's still doing good shit. Now that he has a
team was definitely on last year?
Golden Guardians. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Him and JJ are the only returning players on that. And Contract, sorry. They're the 3 returning players, and they brought in Hanser and Froggen.
Okay.
But yeah, now that he has a mid laner who's good and playing well, Froggen, and Hanser is playing things that I think Hanser should be playing and doing pretty darn well on it. I think when they put Contracts on Poppy against TSM, that wasn't a great pick for Contracts. I think Contracts kind of generally need something that does a lot of damage or can dive in and cause chaos. Poppy causes some chaos, but not a lot. Yeah.
They did well on
Rek'Sai
their
is the pick for
game
him,
versus CG.
obviously.
I mean, again, it was versus CG, so how much are you gonna say they really did? But they got 6 dragons. I wanted to mention that just because I love it when a team gets 6 dragons. I think that's awesome.
But yeah, I mean,
it's such an advantage.
They did do really good against Golden Guardians, and they took Rek'Sai that game for him. And you know what? When they locked in the Ornn last pick for Hanser, I hate the Ornn pick. It's been very bad in general recently, in my opinion. Hanser played it quite well. Was he the deciding factor in many other team fights? No, but he was getting in there and he was doing all right. His first ult top was garbage. Something fucked up happened. Yeah, he mentions because he calls it down the lane and he wants to hit it for and just clear the minions so that he can back, and he hits it off towards Tribe Rush, and it's just team question. Like, in solo queue, that's when everyone on your team throws question mark things at you, and you're like, I had a seizure. Sorry. I actually said that in a match last night. Somebody was like, what was that? Oh, enemy team was like, did all chat question mark. I'm like, I had a mild seizure, no big deal.
I think he was still useful to the team, though. He had tankiness, he was just there, protecting them.
Yeah, and he came in on a bot gank, and he had a good ult there, and like, he played well on the Ornn. I mean,
team's doing well.
It could have not turned out well, but it did, and I think Golden Guardians, they're better, I think, than the other four teams left in the running. If they don't make it, I'll be shocked, especially...
I'll be very sad.
Like, and they have Optic to face up here, and if they beat Optic, not only are they, like, almost guaranteed in already, I believe they would be, actually.
There could be, like
because Optic literally can't catch them at that point, because they wouldn't be able to get 8 wins because they lost one. Echo Fox has TL and CLG, so CLG and Echo Fox being the other two, one of them has to lose. So unless Clutch goes 2-0, and then Echo Fox or CLG go 2-0, beating Optic is enough to clinch for Golden Guardians.
Let's hope.
Math.
Yeah, well, hopefully that happens.
I think that's the case.
No, you're right, because
they do have a win over CLG and a win over Fox. Yep.
Yeah.
And a win over Clutch. So yeah, that would be it.
So who's going to get the other one? That's what we should talk about.
Oh, that one's rough. Because, I mean, it's looking like Golden Guardians have one of them secured. It looks like Clutch is completely out. And then we've got 3 that are...
So, for their schedules, CLG has 100 Thieves and Echo Fox. Echo Fox obviously has CLG and Team Liquid.
Yeah, they're done.
And then Optic faces Golden Guardians and 100 Thieves. So 2 teams do get to face 100 Thieves here on the way out. For their last week, and they're on the fucking bubble, and the other one has to face Liquid.
That's so funny.
And then they all face each other in...
If, like, 100
one of
wins
the other
those
people in the
matches
running.
just to win them, you know, just to show up.
That's all they're here for
win
right now, is to play spoiler. And I would love to see them play a different support.
Oh my god. So they're not gonna do it on the last week of the split, because at that point it doesn't fucking matter, and
What
they're
about
not gonna
What
bring
about
it up.
Bobchin? Bobkin.
He's not a support, he's a mid laner.
No, he came in week 9, though.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, man, you wouldn't think they would swap out their AD carry at Worlds either, but they fucking did that.
Yeah.
And in playoffs. Actually, I was remembering, that they played Cody-san through the little playoff tiebreaker, because it was like a 2-stage tiebreaker, and they played through that, and they won. They got the overall #1 seed in that, and then they went ahead and played fucking Rakara in playoffs and just like pissed it down the drain. So
I think they're gonna have Move for the week 9, but if they not replace Move for the second split,
Again,
then
Moo's the face of the team. I've said it once. I've said it probably a 12.5 times. I'm gonna say it again. He's never gonna be benched until he's not on that team anymore.
Maybe that's where they have to go for Summer Split.
Well,
No,
they can't get rid of them. They can't get rid of them, right?
No, they can.
I mean, you can always cut a player. Like, depending on what his contract says, you might have to pay him extra money or pay the rest of his contract. But you can just be like, okay, you're gone.
So, do you think they would cut him completely just to get him?
I don't think they're going to cut him. I don't think they're going to bench him. I don't think they're going to do anything smart.
Again, that's what I'm saying.
No, we're all in agreement that we think they should,
you're right.
but we don't think they will. Yeah.
I turned it around so I wouldn't lose track of it. And then I lost track of it.
But yeah, like, I mean,
I hope they show up and win just to fucking cut.
And and I have to say,
that's it.
A lot of people, and Alan said too, he thinks Onda's part. I don't think Onda's the issue, actually.
I don't think Onda's an issue at all.
I think Onda
I don't think he's the biggest issue. I don't think he's helping as much. Like, he's helping more than he's hurting. I'll say that.
I've seen him do more good for this team in this split than I've seen Afromo do.
Oh yeah, of course. I don't agree with that Aatrox pick though. For the jungle, that was terrible.
Don't agree
that
with
might
it
not
for
have been
all the
his
teams.
choice, though.
Yeah. So CLG, Fox, and Optic though. Not 100 Thieves, CLG, because it's so easy to get sidetracked on how much they suck.
Not me. I like talking about it.
So CLG, they did that week where they were like, hey, let's try other shit, and it was awful. And they're like, hey, let's go back to the players who are good. And they won a game. And they actually looked all right against TSM too, if I remember correctly, didn't they?
honestly, right now, I think CLG makes the most sense just
Well,
based on
no,
their next two
They
games.
were good at first against TSM, and then the on-hit Nico became worthless.
Yes.
I disagree with that pick heavily.
Yes,
I think, yeah, if CLG plays the
I
way
think
we've
CLG
seen
has
them
the
play-
best chance. Like,
Because
Really?
They have
100
100 Thieves.
100 Thieves and Echo Fox.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Well, see, I think they can. I think Fox is going to be the match that can go either way for that.
No, and it
Right,
very well
yeah.
could, but I'm saying, like, I think that, like,
whereas,
with...
like, Optic has 100 Thieves, but then they have Golden Guardians, who we all think is better.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Optic could win, and it's pretty unlikely that Team Liquid throws yet another game this split.
You'd hope
Yeah.
so.
I mean, maybe they lose to TSM.
Maybe they
but
play
it doesn't-
Vladimir as a bot
doesn't-
lane.
Yeah.
So I think Optic, while they have looked good at times, and CLG, while they have looked good at times, are super inconsistent. And not that Echo Fox isn't, because obviously they're here in this same wheelhouse, but last week they looked put together as a team.
This
Now,
week.
the one that just
Okay.
happened. They looked well put together as a team, and that's kind of what I keep looking towards. Now, if Optic manages to not have Big throw the game for them, then they could win. If CLG just picks Jax or some shit against Echo Fox, they could win.
Yeah.
It's all a goddamn toss-up.
Yeah,
If
it's
I
hard
had to
to
put
talk
my
about
money
this, so-
down, though,
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
I'm just
Who would
going
you
to
pick?
go on... I'm going to look at the last 2 weeks, and I'm going to say Echo Fox. Because CLG subbed people out the week before, and they looked pretty good this week. And Optic is looked questionable both of the last 2 weeks, and at least Echo Fox looked really good this week. So I'm going to say Echo Fox.
You think Echo Fox and Golden Guardians are going to be the two?
Yep, if I had to put my money in, that's where I'm going.
Just based
Also,
on-
just get more Azir for Phoenix.
That's true.
I mean, I was trying to argue how I think that Optic is probably out. I mean, they've got 1-1. I think Fox has a 1-1 this week too. Does Fox have the head-to-head over Optic?
I don't
Nope.
believe any of these teams own the head-to-head.
Yeah, I
Aside
think
from
we're gonna go
Golden
into.
Guardians.
I think we're gonna go into a tiebreaker for that last spot. Honestly,
That'd be cool to watch.
Yeah, well, but if
Then
you have to
who's-
put your money
who's
down,
playing?
who's winning?
I
Who's
don't
getting
know.
in?
I'm gonna go with
Like
you
a
and
tiebreaker
say Fox.
A
Like,
tiebreaker is the most likely thing for the final spot. I totally agree.
Yeah.
But you gonna say Echo Fox as well?
I mean,
Alan said he
looks
hopes
the
it's
most,
Fox just to annoy you, or that they win the split just to annoy you.
that Fox wins the split.
Yeah, because
They're gonna make
couldn't
that
do it when
gauntlet.
you were a fan.
Oh fuck me.
Oh no.
And
Stupid Echo
are you
Fox.
going with Fox as well, or are you on the CLG or
Well,
Optic
okay, so
wagon?
am I picking who I think's gonna get it or who I want to get it?
Who you think? You can say who you want as well.
I want CLG to get it.
Okay.
Because I like Wiggly. I like Darshan.
I do like Wiggly.
Power of Evil. Fucking like them all. I have no really allegiance with the bot lane, so. But those three I like. And I don't know. Fox showed up. They did very well. They do have a good team, and I think it's gonna come down to those two.
You know what I should have done
But
this year?
who?
I'll say CLG since you two both went Fox, just to get something different.
I had
The
a.
Fox is a real contender.
I should have swapped what I did because last year I was repping Echo Fox and Golden Guardians was like my kind of meme team, like the ones that I really want to win even though I
Yeah.
really know they're not. I should have swapped them this year.
Made Echo Fox here? No, because you were mad at them and what they did to players, so you didn't.
Oh
want
yeah,
them.
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a reason why I'm upset with them, but that's what I should have done. I should have had them be my
Are
meme
you writing
team.
that down, by the way?
No, well, I mean, I circle Fox, and CLG. I don't know if
Okay.
I'll remember it, but no. So I was just thinking because we mentioned, or you mentioned that you really like Wiggly, as do I, and I was thinking something over the weekend while I was watching matches. So how many teams in the league? So not counting Cloud9, so 9 other teams. How many teams in the league do you think have a player who has been associated with the Cloud9 organization? Out of 9.
9.
No, it's not gonna be 9. It's gonna be.
Couldn't it be 9?
I mean, it could be if they had a player who's on all the other... Like, you can think it out loud for a moment, a little bit, if you want. I will say right away, Wiggly was an academy player for them. That's what made me think of it.
Well, so yeah, Wiggly's an academy player. We had Jensen go to Team Liquid. There's gonna be probably 2 or 3 I'm missing. So I'm gonna say 5.
say 7.
6, technically, you can stretch it to 7.
Damn it.
Because it
You're right,
is
no, no.
Wiggly in the jungle for CLG.
Mm-hmm.
Rush was a jungler for Cloud9 for a split. Smoothie, support for Cloud9 for like 2 years. Jensen, as you mentioned. Meteos, the original Cloud9 jungler.
That was before my time.
Contracts was a Cloud9 jungler.
Jesus.
And also, if you want to stretch it just a bit, Wild Turtle was the AD carry before Cloud9 qualified. Like, not when they qualified, but when they tried to qualify and failed. They weren't Cloud9 yet. And he was their AD carry then. TSM then picked him up, and they got sneaky, and then they qualified.
Wow.
So, Cloud9 bitches all over the league. And I'm hearing people on Reddit be like, oh yeah, for whatever team, like, any team that's, like, struggling in top support, and not, on jungle you wouldn't be able to get, but top and support, they're like, Cloud9 has a really good academy top and support, you should try and get them, and that'd make our team better. And it's just like, yes, and fucking every team in the league can have someone from Cloud9. Jesus Christ.
Just spread out the wealth.
Yeah. I think that's just ridiculous, and it speaks to why Cloud9 just remains
Well,
good.
Cloud9's like an old organization. Like, they're just not much older than TSM, right?
They're a lot younger than TSM, but TSM's the oldest, like, esports org, basically. Or at least league org. So, like, Golden Guardians, 100 Thieves, Clutch are new.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were new as of last year. FlyQuest had been around, like, a year before that. Actually, FlyQuest, as a whole, you can just say, they bought their organization into their spot was when Cloud9 Academy qualified, but it's like you can't have 2 teams in, so they had to sell their spot, and FlyQuest are the people who bought it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that's another way to, like, say that team just in general is Cloud9 associated.
I did
Oh,
not know
Optics
that.
also new. Liquid has been around for quite a while. They used to be like Curse back in the day.
Oh, yeah, I did.
So
know
yeah,
that.
Echo Fox is pretty new, but like Liquid, TSM and CLG, the oldest ones by a long shot. And Grant, like, we have a lot of newer ones now, but yeah, I mean, Cloud9's pretty old. They've been around since second half of Season 3, so that's pretty old now. But, I mean, the Academy stuff, all that. I mean, that's part of the reason, like, they have players everywhere. But if you're like, oh, TSM has players everywhere. No, they don't. They have Sam Torin and Svenskeren. I think that's it. Oh, no, Hanser. So there's 3 other teams who have TSM players. And they've been around since Season 1.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that that's something that speaks to why some of these teams do better. And you can say that's why, like, TSM does well a little bit, too. It's like, oh, they have players who are elsewhere. Oh, and Double Lift, I guess. They had Double Lift. But, yeah, like, you see these teams, like,
Learning
struggling,
so much.
and it's because, like, they don't develop their own fucking players. It's like, if 100 Thieves developed their own players, they wouldn't, or were willing to swap in players they had who were good, and not swap out ones who are good for bad players. Like,
They're just too busy. Oh, did you guys watch the 7 Days Till or whatever the
I
Netflix
still
doc-
need to, yeah.
So, like, there's a section where...
Lemonation. I miss Lemonation.
There's a section where Nate Shot's taken the whole team to, like, go get, like, swag and stuff, like shoes and, like, outfits and stuff. I was like, if you spent half as much time, training your other teammates rather than just trying to fucking make Afro Moo look baller, like, you guys might actually be a good team.
So, I totally agree, by the way. Like, I mean, like, obviously this is, like, for some promotional vote, but, like, I feel like the esports mentality of, like, actually being a good sports team is not fucking there.
Yeah.
And it shows. I love, Devin also mentioned Lemon Nation, the original support from Cloud9. I'm like, oh shit, he's, like, coaching somewhere, isn't he? He's with Optic, so it's still, Meteos is already on that team.
Okay. Alright.
But it's just like, holy shit, like, yeah, these fucking players are everywhere. Like, the only one not still in the league is Balls, basically. Like, I mean, they've had some short-term ones in between, like, Bunny Fufu and stuff, but he's still, like, streams for Cloud9. And
So they basically just go out and spend money to make them look good?
I know.
100
I think it was...
Thieves is a brand first. The team is owned by the Cleveland Cavaliers, and then they hired the brand, Nate Shot, and the 100 Thieves brand to be the brand of the team. That way
Drake's
they had some,
got
like,
money
esports
in there.
cred to start with.
Drake,
Well, that came
Drake?
later. Yeah, Drake.
Drake?
Yep.
Wheelchair Jimmy, yes.
Oh,
you
shit,
should.
never mind.
Yeah, so, like, 100
That's
Thieves,
why you can
it's a
watch
brand,
that.
it's a clothing
Yeah.
thing. They're like Supreme, where they do drops, and it's all limited, so
So
that people
for
love it.
Moo, it's just the stuff.
Oh, no, I'm sure he's getting paid money. Like, and
That's
when it
wild.
happened, I would have been like, yeah, no, he's the swag ambassador you want.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, he ints.
Is it because he's black? And
Now
looks
he's
good?
wheelchair Jimmy.
No, he ends at freaking champ select.
Well, no,
Thank you
he
for the
does.
follow.
No, like I'm saying, like
Aquis?
I think the Afro's probably the best looking dude on that team. Like
Oh, yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's Aquis. Thank you for the follow, Aquis.
He's alright.
I don't understand why they backed off Bear. Nobody understands why they backed off Bear. I don't know. Like, that team's in shambles. So, but anyway, back to where we were. Golden Guardians, we all think they're making it.
Yes.
Echo Fox, you kind of think Echo Fox, but you want to be a little bit different with CLG.
Yes.
And-
I like CLG and I hope they get it. That's
All right.
why.
So, we've got that covered.
Do you want to make a wager? We can bring you burgers again.
Shit, yeah.
Because that's what's going to end up happening.
Should we do it?
Let's
We'll
make
hit it at the end.
Yeah,
We'll
okay,
think about
alright.
it. So, quick though, you mentioned this in Discord as we were prepping for the show. Golden Glue played on day
Yes,
one.
on day one
instead
for
of Niski.
Niski, yeah.
Like, obviously they're prepping their 7-man roster for playoffs.
Which is smart. 'cause they
How do
already
you
had
think
the
Golden
pick,
Glue
really.
looked? Because we saw Blabber play a game and like they lost that one too, didn't they? Yeah,
that
because
was
he
the
played
one they
against Team
lost.
Liquid, and like although I don't think he looked bad, it just that game didn't work
I don't
out.
really think Golden Glue looked bad either, but he also played a melee into a ranged, which I think Niski would have just played a ranged and made it a bit of a safer matchup.
Yeah, I'm not big on the draft that game.
Yeah.
The Akali mid and
It just didn't work out well. Like, kind of like the
No.
game where we're talking about where...
I mean, is this the first time
Team
that
was
he's
just
been
weird.
on stage since week
Like,
one?
Yeah.
Period. He wasn't on week one
Oh,
either.
Yeah.
so
It's the first time since Worlds. Or no, he didn't play at Worlds at all. So he first time since playoffs last year.
Fox would have been Phoenix for Allen.
I don't think Golden Glue was the reason like they lost that game, basically, but I also don't think he was as good as Niski would have been.
Yeah, I mean, I think Golden Glue looked fine. I just didn't like the pick so much.
Yeah, same.
I expect we'll see more of him in playoffs if the matchup calls for it. But I feel like Niski checks so many more boxes for the team than Jensen did that I'm not sure it's likely.
Yeah.
Like, unless it's certain pocket picks that, you know, he's working on, it's like, all right, this comp, we're going to play this fucking whatever champion that Niski doesn't play, like the Akali or something. And so that's why we're putting... And maybe that's what they were setting up, because they had Golden Glue play at day one, and they had Licorice play at day two. So maybe they have some...
Niski?
No. Licorice played the Akali on day two.
Oh, you mean who played the Akali? Okay,
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
So they had them
I thought
both
you
play
just
the
meant play.
Akali
Like,
between day one and day two. So maybe that's what they're
Yeah.
setting up, so that they have some Akali comp, and then they can have Golden Glue in, and when they pick the Akali, it's a flex.
Yeah.
That could be what they're doing. And then they also want to give him some stage experience while they're at it. Or you bring in Golden Glue and you say, well, maybe they ban it. We have something else picked, and like
I wish
wish to
they
ban.
could pick the team comp. Like, they could draft the team comp and then be like, all right, well, the Akali costs this, we're going to pick the Akali.
Swap
Golden
the
Glue,
player
Yeah,
in.
swap the players and stuff.
Then
That
they-
would be pretty cool.
Like,
but
it would
it's
be
not
cool,
gonna
but if as a coach, it would make fucking drafting so impossible.
happen. Okay.
Because like
I'm not thinking of it on the back end. I'm just
Well, like,
thinking
yeah,
on
because
the-
what you would
the
do
watching end.
is every team would have 2 subs who are one tricks. And they play shit that nobody plays, so that if you get to like your last pick and it's available and it makes sense, you go, okay, and we pick, what's something that's not played by fucking anyone? Garen, I don't know, like Darius, like
Yeah.
something that, like, I mean, you would normally say something like Riven, that's like a huge one-trick thing, but like those exist in the league. But like, you know, something it's like, oh, nobody's gonna ban this, nobody's gonna pick it. You're like, all right, we pick this. And then it's like, we're subbing this guy. It's like, well, yeah, of course you fuck it. So like every team has to ban it every fucking time,
Yeah,
or
that's
you
true.
sub in the one trick at the last moment, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because I've seen some discussions with like coaches and players and analysts, and they're like, it'd be neat, but it would create an environment where everybody just has 2 one tricks on their roster, like their subs, instead of actual good players.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, like overall, you're just hurting people who are actually good at shit, you know, so that every team has 2 like insane one tricks. It's like, I only play Jungle Zillion. What? Oh, just wait. You know, I don't know. But
He's gonna have to revive himself fighting Krugs. I mean, like, he's gonna have to hold himself to kill the camp.
but he's only level 2. It'll never work.
That'll be fun. Anyway. I see what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I kind of want to try that now because I know it's gonna be terrible.
Do it.
I'll try it in a bot match because they don't jungle.
You
Yeah.
picking up Zillion jungle is the opposite of me going, I'm gonna just start playing Top Gear and to carry Browsies. You're like, I want to be the heaviest I can possibly be. This character that requires mechanics and doesn't belong in this lane. Whereas, like, what's Brain Dead and can win his lane without trying? Garen. Garen can. And it's true.
I used to play Zillion
play
mid
it so
and
funny.
a little support.
Yeah.
I wasn't great at it, but yeah.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely. I think he's a good time. So talked about Golden Glue just a little bit. You wanted to talk about Rek'Sai, the massive. I mean, we talked about it just a bit last week with her showing up because of Conqueror changes, but you said you wanted to talk about it. I don't know if it was in a specific game earlier.
No, it's just
it was
like
picked all weekend.
yeah, it's just crazy. Like going from a nobody to like main staple to like this week. Like I mean, we saw her crop up a couple times last week. It's just like it's so crazy. How much did it actually win? Because I feel like it won a lot.
Let's see. Banned game 1, won game 2, lost game 3, won game 4 and 5.
Damn.
Won game 6, was not played game 7 or 8, lost game 9 and lost game 10. So overall, she went 4-3.
Okay, I mean that's a little bit better than 50%, but it's just so crazy.
And if you want to touch in on it a bit more, she lost, oddly enough, both Cloud9 and Liquid's losses. And then
She went
and CLG over to TSM.
5-3. 5-3.
5-3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I might be missing her on a game.
She won with Wiggly CLG. One with
Oh,
TM.
wait, yeah, I missed one. Okay, yeah, she went 5-3. I missed the first game. Sorry.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah.
That actually, like, yeah, it's so crazy. Like, do you think
Well,
we're
and
gonna see?
one of her losses was on a throw from Cloud9.
Yeah.
And CLG trying to beat TSM with it,
Like, since I mean, she's cropping up like everywhere. Do you think we're gonna see her get tweaked at all?
No, because I don't think she's
They're
that
gonna
OP.
tweak Conqueror just a bit more, possibly. They did a like small hotfix with it, I think. Or no, that was something else. They did the Nico on hit hotfix. They might tweak Conqueror just a bit more, or they might tweak her just a bit. I don't think she's overwhelming right now, but she's the new hotness that everybody has practice on. I'm interested to see if Vi crops up now that her changes just went through.
Yeah.
We didn't see her played this week. We saw her banned once, I think was all. Like Cloud9 banned it against Optic. Because Meteos has a lot of Vi games.
Yeah?
And from back in the day. And he's like the only pro jungler who is practicing leading up to this week. So now that they'll have been another week.
Who's Vin? Never mind, sorry. I was watching like Core JJ and Double Lift on his stream, and they had Zvin as a jungler on Vi. He was like 8-0 or some shit. It was ridiculous.
Vi's, she's great.
I like Vi.
The changes to her were fantastic because she had been like damage oriented, and there were just better picks for that exact same thing in the jungle. Jarvan and Camille, and they had nerfed Camille, so now we are only seeing Jarvan really, right? And they said, okay, let's take Vi and make her more of a bruiser, because she has like the shield thing built in. We'll make that better. We'll do other stuff. And so now she's a bruiser jungler, which is a role that isn't like super deep, because you don't build bruiser Jarvan, and you usually just go like early damage and then late into defense so you don't die immediately. But it's about like early ganks and just killing the shit out of people.
Yeah.
Like there's not many bruiser junglers who are played often, and her mobility's great, her CC's great, and they improved her ult CDCs because the knockback on incidental targets on the way is better than it was now. So yeah, like I'm really looking forward to see her. I think she makes for exciting plays too.
Yes. Vi was like one of my first champions that I picked up in the jungle. Like I really liked her, and then I realized that Warwick is basically her with Q and R swapped around.
Kinda, yeah.
and so like I was just like, oh, I can play Warwick and still do well and still like live at the end of a fight. This is great.
And way less of these are skill shots.
Yeah.
The entire thing, like you wanted to say that you didn't like her, but why? For Rek'Sai.
Oh,
Like, it's just...
oh no, I like Rek'Sai just fine. Like
Yeah?
it's just like I just wanted to see if you guys thought there was gonna be any sort of
I'm
like
with him.
tuning to her or potentially tuning to Conqueror, because that's why she's back.
Right. There could be, but it won't happen until playoffs, if not after playoffs.
Okay, so you don't think that she's overtuned to the point where they would hotfix her even for
No, like
them?
we saw the Nico on hit hotfix happen, and that they did play with the hotfix live, by the way, which is why part of the reason it was like Darshan did all right, and then like wasn't doing dick in fights because that was hotfixed. She was gross. Like as much as he won that lane, he would have been probably 3 kills and the full turret. Like, that's how broken she was. Like,
As
all the
it
pros are like, oh,
stands-
dude, I was playing her in solo queue. She's so abusable. It's entertaining as hell.
He missed all of his ults. So it
Yeah.
didn't fucking matter anyways.
Although, I do have to
Good
agree a
job,
little
Darshan.
bit. It's not AP Nico, so those ults do almost any damage.
If you miss it still.
Well, right. Like, oh, okay, it would have at least done CC. It would have done a little damage. Or, don't ult so you can keep auto-attacking since that's what she's there for. Like,
I will
it was
say
an
that a lot of
alright
people
pick,
dodged
but
it
it
too,
fell apart
but-
super fast.
What was he up against? He was up Vlad.
Vladimir.
He's just gonna heal and heal and heal anyways.
He dominated the Vlad in lane, though. He crushed it.
But in
I
team
think,
fights
honestly,
later on-
AP Nico probably would have crushed it harder, though.
Yes, I do agree with that
She's
too.
gross.
Hands down, she should have just done AP
But, I don't know.
and then landed the ults.
So I wanted to transition my Rek'Sai thing into like some of the random picks that we saw this week. Alan has mentioned several times Phoenix's Azir was really gross, and it was
Yep, that's a pocket pick for him.
sure. Well, and it makes sense. It's just like it's so interesting to see them come out and like actually do well.
Yep,
Because like sometimes they'll pull a pocket pick out and then they'll get pooped on because it's so out of meta that it can't compete.
Right. Did we saw with the top Nico we just talked about, which was played as on hit Nico. We saw Vel'Koz come out as well
that
in the
was-
mid lane.
That was the first time this split, right?
I believe
think
so.
so.
That's what I recall hearing the casters say.
Yep. Crown
2018. Yep.
Crown played it mid lane. Was there another? Oh, the Ornn top, which we haven't seen in a while, but that's not like crazy.
Talia mid, Elise
Oh, the
jungle.
Talia. There we go. The Niski on the Talia, which he did really well on. That gank top. Holy shit! Like they had used Rift Herald top. This was a day 2 Cloud9 against Optic. Optic used that Rift Herald top. They got the plates off of it. And immediately, Nocturne ult comes down, Talia ult comes from
I
mid.
saw
So she
that.
flies up
Oh,
from
yeah.
mid, he flies in from the jungle,
Just got
and
deleted.
Lissandra's just like, it's gonna take me a little while to get there. Yeah, it won. Sven Skaren solo killed, I don't know if it was Meteor, yeah, I think he solo killed Meteos on the Skarner, and then they all picked up that other kill. But that was just disgusting. Like, also, it was one person there, and nobody was within, like, 2,000 units, and all of a sudden 3 people are fucking on you.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, this
TP
sucks.
and the
was
Nocturne ult,
dirty,
it was
yeah.
like a...
No,
it was
not
a-
TP. It was Talia ult.
Oh, yeah, you're right, it
She
was.
she rode the wall up there.
Yep, I did
So it
see
was like
that.
instant, like like with TP you have warning. It's several seconds. Like no, also it was just like whoosh, like oh fuck.
Yeah.
It was good.
And then they got deleted. Yeah, and then you said the Skarner. The Skarner hasn't shown up for a while.
Yeah.
And he showed up, like,
well,
2 or 3
so
times this
he also got changes. They enlarged the spires and moved them a little bit so that now they cover all the like jungle quadrant, so you can use them on everything. You also have more space to spar with. And then the bigger change for pro play / high level play period is they're not on the minimap anymore.
Ah.
So, because it used to be, like, as Skarner, you need the Spire to clear. Worth the shit. Because even at level 1, it increases your, like, auto attack speed and shit by 40%. And then way later, it's 100 plus. It's at least 100. And so it's, like, really gross. And, like, obviously that's where, like, most of his damage comes from, auto attacking.
Yeah.
So you need that 40% increase. It's not nothing. So you had to capture it. So if you had been invaded and your spires were captured, or if you were in the river, or if you were invading the opponent, the moment you captured it, everybody on the map knew where the fuck you were.
And now you don't.
Yeah, I don't know if they can still like look through Fog of War and see it. That's possible. I didn't hear it mentioned. I've never noticed in game because I always could just look at the minimap. But it's not on the minimap. Just going, this is red now. Well, fuck, he's there. Like he or someone is there, and I can see this person, this person, this person. So it's probably him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I only see Skarner every
Yeah,
once
that
in a
was
while,
the
and-
big fucking
We
change.
saw a lot of Skarner last split. And then, was it... I don't know if it was into Worlds, but it was definitely last split I remember seeing a bunch of Skarner. And then he kind of fell off completely for a while. We saw Callista as well, which is...
Yep. And it worked really well there too. If we saw her once or twice last week as well.
Yeah.
We saw her twice this week. TSM played her actually both times. Sven played Callista both games this week.
And then we already talked about Double Lift, but the Vayne showed up.
And Sneaky played it as well. He played it on
I
day
did
one.
see that.
Vayne lost both those games.
That's true.
I don't know that Vayne's necessarily the reason, but yes, Captain Flower's very excited about the Skarner changes, partly because he is a reason that they happened. He's been a one-trick like Skarner forever, and like he was saying, he's like, these are problems with Skarner. This is why nobody plays him.
That person being very, very excited about it because there was someone else
Oh,
so excited
he
about
loves
Skarner.
Skarner. I mean,
It's funny.
and he's so like enjoyable.
That
like,
person or Skarner?
No, Captain
Skarner.
Flowers.
Okay, yes.
Captain Flowers is so lovable. That's full. Talk more so I can drink more.
Just drink so I can try to get in and do stuff.
But yeah. So anyway, we talked about those picks, but something I wanted to talk about earlier: the Jace and the Aatrox.
Mm-hmm.
We keep seeing them to varied success. I think Aatrox less than previously, and the reason we keep seeing them, I feel, not because of like win percentage, not because of necessarily how good they are, whatever. It's because they're flex picks. And I feel like we're seeing teams pick these champions regardless of whether or not they should, because it doesn't give away a matchup. They're like,
that's
well,
a bad reason in my opinion.
and I agree. Like, I get it if it's a really good champion still, which Aatrox was and Urgot was at one point. Like, you're like, okay, well, I can pick the Aatrox, and then if they pick a top laner that he's not good against, then we move him in the jungle. Well, if he's gonna suck there too, it doesn't matter. And that's what I feel like is happening. Jace, not so much. It's more like some people just aren't very good at him. And we see that, like, Impact has played him twice recently, and granted, like, it's worked out just because the rest of the team won, and then he got to, just side push, not because he was winning his lane. And I feel like, if you would have just given him given him Shen, he still would have eventually pushed a side lane, and he would be there for team fights and doing good things. Like, I feel like teams are picking in Cloud9 and TL, I think, are the biggest problems with this, because Cloud9 keeps picking this Aatrox. We've seen Sven Skaren play in the jungle. We've seen Licorice played up top. And, like, while it can still be good, it's not, like... I don't feel like it's good enough into enough matchups that it should be blind picked as a flex pick anymore. And they keep fucking doing it, and it bothers me. It bothers me a lot.
Anytime I see Aatrox start get picked, I'm like...
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just don't like it. I don't think it's very useful.
I feel like it's a trap pick. And, like, I was bothered. I'm like, why are they still picking it? And then I sat down and I thought about it. I'm like, oh, that's why. They're always picking it as a blind flex. And then we keep seeing these teams where, like, it gets smashed because it was in the jungle or it was top. And sometimes it works out, but it's not because it, like, won its lane.
Yeah.
It's like, you could have just picked something you're super good with in lane, or, jungle or whatever, and then counterpicked the other matchup. But you're like, no, I want to not get counterpicked on either of these. It's like, okay, so one of them will kind of be garbage by you just being blah on the champion, and the other one will be good. Great.
I'm very much with you, because I don't like either of them, to be honest. I get more frustrated when the Aatrox is picked, though. Like, I can deal with the Jace.
I kind of like Jace. Like, I mean...
No, I agree.
Like, I like it better than the Aatrox. Like, Aatrox is just so... it's such a frustrating character to watch play and to play against. Because he's going to pop the ult, and you're probably going to revive him. Otherwise...
Don't hit him.
Yeah.
It's so hard to not hit
Well,
someone.
it's hard to get him down into kill range before he gets underneath of something.
Yeah.
And so it's like...
the key with the Aatrox ult is...
And we even saw it in a match this weekend where they
tried to time it.
And they were like half a second off from down in the bot lane.
And we've seen times where they nailed it too. It was Cloud9 with the Akali.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he used his ult to get over the wall because it was right at the end of the cooldown. And he probably could have waited half a second with the Q, but he did it immediately. And hit the revive on it. But so you see that Aatrox, when he pops the ult, the bar builds.
Mm-hmm.
If he's already low, pop him immediately because he will heal less. Once that bar is mostly full, just fuck off, let him run it out. Because even if it runs out all the way and he gets away because of it, if he's going to get away, if you pop it, it doesn't matter anyway. And if he has no health, he has to recall.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the thing. And, like, you don't see pros mess it up very often, but sometimes you do. It's like, why? But, like, in your games at home. Like, you see it all the time. Somebody, like, oh, he's got, like, almost no health. The bar's full, and somebody, like, kills it. It's like, you dumb shit. Why did you do that? Like, it's the same with Zillion.
Yeah,
But, like,
just
sometimes,
like
most of the time with Zillion, you're, like, trying to time it. And, like, with Aatrox, people are just wailing on him still. It's like, dense motherfucker, you know?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that know how to play, like, a certain champ, but they have no understanding of the rest of the mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
Like, they know how to play their champion,
I
but
know one champion.
Dude,
you've hit gold. Fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
as long as I've been playing, every now and then, I'm still like, wait, that champion does that? And sometimes it's a champion I've been playing for like 2 years.
Oh no.
Like, every now and then you're like, hold on, what? Huh?
Did you know?
And then you're like, wait, how long ago did they change that? Because I haven't played this champion in like a year.
It's like me realizing Annie had a stun. I mean, it was a long time ago,
I-
but I was like, Annie has
I
a
didn't-
stun.
I used to play Mundo a ton, and I knew that his like E is an auto attack reset. It does more like, and I remember like when they added the first hit like has extra range on it. I didn't realize it maybe has always been this way. His E also like buffs his MR. Yeah, just his MR, I think.
Fuck if I know.
I don't
It's
know.
Mundo.
Was it always that way? If somebody knows, please tell me. I knew his
I'm
W.
with Alan on this one. Mordekaiser, no idea what he does.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, and they've also changed
I'm
him
stealing Alan's words, but I wholeheartedly agree. I'll play
Yeah.
against him and be like, well, I didn't kill him, and now there's one of me on their team running around. What the fuck just happened? This isn't great. Please don't kill me, me!
Where'd that ghost dragon come from?
Yeah, no shit.
How do you get those?
You know?
Can you buy that in the
Mordekaiser.
shop?
Yeah, still have
Yes,
no
it's an
idea how
item.
Mordekaiser works.
Does it come out of Zerat's portal if you like have 2 of them?
You have to upgrade it.
Yeah, you have to upgrade Zerat's portal.
The
Who you talking?
You
I
have
was
to
saying
order on your team.
Mundo. So like Mundo's W, the fire, gives him tenacity. I knew that. Mundo's E is an auto attack reset. Does adds damage to his auto attacks. I realized that. I did not realize his E also buffs his MR. Like it's a percentage increase of his existing MR or something, which is. I realized it in an ARAM, and I was against like an all AP team. I'm like,
You just walk into them, throw an axe. Whatever they
no,
are.
just autoing them in the face because I kept
Oh,
popping
yes.
my E. I would
Yeah.
like run up, pop my E, pop my W, so all their slows didn't matter, and I was just wailing on them, and they did no damage to me because I had built MR already,
Nice.
and then I was like buffing it by like 40% on that. I was like, I have 800 MR. That's not quite true. It was like 3 something.
Most of the big ones that I miss are champions that can like travel through terrain, like with their abilities. Like Riven's third hop will go through a wall. Like Sejuani, like
Her
anything that.
dash, yeah.
Yeah, anyone that's got a dash that could go over a wall had no fucking clue for the longest time.
Even
Like-
college.
I mean, to be fair, you haven't even been playing that long though.
I've been playing for a little over a year at this point.
I've been playing for like 5 years, and I'm still learning shit.
Same.
To champions I played for longer than you've been playing the game.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. Every time I try,
It's a year? It's
so-
at 2, because you started before Worlds.
Oh yeah, so a little over 2. I'm sorry.
Or close to 2, not over 2, I don't think.
I started playing just before
Oh,
we
that's right, because
started.
we were going to
Loggers.
do a show earlier. So yeah, it's been 2 years, a little over, you're right.
Yeah, we were gonna do a show with Devo. Devo, what happened to that, you asshole?
This fucking guy. No,
He was like, I don't know who they're talking about. It's just-
Devin,
okay.
friend of Chase's.
I
Oh,
learn
yeah.
I still
He's a
learn new
brother
things
of
about
Jesus.
champions. If I
the time.
absolutely don't know what they do, I hate learning. Like, fuck learning.
I
had to go
hate
through school,
learning.
I hate research. But I'll pull up a champion's abilities while like it's loading or something so I can learn about him. I had to do that with the new Kale.
Oh god.
Fucking
Well, yeah, and
hell.
whenever they redo a
Yeah.
champion, you have to learn so much.
Thankfully, Morgana was the same.
But yeah, like there's small
Oh,
tweaks
wow.
made around. I've been playing bits for like 4. God, just read the wiki really thoroughly, Jeff.
I've been.
Although,
really bad with
and there's a
League in general
change
lately.
on the well, and there's always small changes happening too, and that's another thing. So like with Jeff with Blitzcrank, right? There's a change going on to PPE. Who knows if it'll actually go through? But they're gonna change. So his mana barrier, it's like when he gets so low, that mana barrier pops. That's his passive, right? He gets that shield. That's based on how much mana he currently has. They're changing it so it's more consistent and better, so that it's going to be his max mana.
Thank God.
That's a change that's going to PvE. I think that'll definitely make it through. The other thing, his ultimate, when it's up and not being used, the little random fucking lightning bolts, right? They're going to change that so that it's...
I
saw
knew
that
the
one.
lightning. No. I knew he had the lightning bolts. I've played tons of Blitz.
You didn't know what did it.
Yeah, I had no idea.
It's his ult when it's available.
Interesting.
If he uses his ult, no more lightning
I
bolts.
thought it had something to do with one of the coin things that I was like, because I don't main him, but I do play
You
him
played him like
every
once or
time
twice.
I main. Or like
Definitely
I'm
did
in-
not hover his R and read it, did you?
No, hell no.
Yeah, hover something.
You're like, wait,
something?
it's a silence?
No, I did know that.
Yeah,
Because he goes, you use it to blow people up. But no,
He uses it for damage, not the CC.
basically, yeah.
Yes, of course. What else? Are you playing
If I
Blitz
play
for?
support 9 times out of 10, I'm picking Blitz if it's available.
Yeah.
Because that's the
I
only
think
support that I
that's
know how
most
to
people's
play.
like first support. Or one
Blitz?
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because you just get to hang
Probably
back and
Sona
fucking
or
yank
something for
bitches.
me.
So
Yeah.
is an early one too.
I
But
play
yeah.
more Karma now. For
Well, so like his passive on his ult is like when it's available, not when it's used. When it's available, it does a little random lightning bolts, and they're going to change that as on PBE, so that it's an on hit against champions. So if he autos an enemy champion while his ult's available, after 1 second, it will do damage.
Weird, but okay.
So it really incentivizes him to not insta pop his ult in a combo. Although, I mean, his pop-ups counts as that auto reset, so you could still do, like, grab, pop-up, it would give him the 1 second, and then ult, and you would still get it. But, yeah. Like, it incentivizes him in a team fight to run around and, like, fucking pop everybody, so that they'll get, like, a tick up, depending on how much damage it does, to be like, I'm just gonna keep autoing this AD carry who's nearby, because it'll keep hitting them, and then silence when I have to, or
So
something.
pull in, knock up, then ult. Not pull in, ult, knock up.
Yeah, I always do pull up, knock up ult.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's like
I
Ezreal or
always do the pull up,
something.
knock up anyways.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, because
ult as
you can
needed.
hit the E while they're in air, so you
Yeah.
automatically get it. And like, and people don't know the W. It's a speed up. Well, it's also an auto attack speed up, but then you'll have to deal with the slow, on the slow afterwards. So it's like, if you're wailing on a turret, you should always be popping W unless you think you might need it to run away, because you're gonna get more hits on it. Things like that. But
very cool.
yeah, like little things like that change all the time.
We could have our section, Coach's Corner, how to play your champ.
Coach's Corner.
The very, very ghetto version.
Oh my, no! Oh my, that's a new thing we should have Jeff do. Coach's Corner, like we had joked, like we're gonna, or not joke, like I was gonna have him like film some segments or whatever. I was gonna put him up on YouTube and shit, and he got distracted with other stuff. He was gonna do a Pokemon, what's it called, Nuzlocke run, and like that was gonna go up and whatnot. Could do a Coach's Corner. It's Jeff just plays one champion for like a week. And he records every single instance of his playing that champion. And the beginning of each day, though, is him reading through the wiki again. So Coach's Corner. So he's like, okay, the Q does. Oh, it does that. Okay, yeah. And then like 3 days later, he like reads again. He's like, wait, it does that? I've been playing this shit for 3 days, and I've been playing it wrong. That would be fantastic.
I dig it. See, that's why I'm the idea man. I'm the idea man.
Yeah.
I come up with
creative.
great ideas.
And terrible
And
ones.
Kurt vetoes 9 of 10 of them.
I veto all the bad ones.
Okay, so we've been talking about random shit for the longest time.
We-
Back to LCS just a bit for like next week's stuff.
Yeah,
maybe?
well, so
Or
I
do we have
mean,
anything
we
on
kind of talked about
Pokemon?
who we thought was going to win and move on and all that.
Yeah.
So the other thing I thought we might talk about, because next week we're going to be talking about who's making the playoffs and how playoffs are going to go. State of the league. Just if we want to do a quick hit of that.
You were using that as filler, Heather. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, is that how it works?
The state of the league, though, so after this split, how do we feel about the LCS in general? Like the top to bottom parity. How good are the best teams? Do we think the meta's fine? Like anything and everything.
This segment, I'm just like, it's good. I mean, it's my first time
yeah,
watching
it's
it,
your
so
first one.
I don't.
So here,
I don't have
let's
much
go.
opinion on it.
We'll go least experience with the LCS, and then move up.
Yeah.
So like, just this is your first time watching LCS.
Okay, well, I really like it. It's fun. Yay.
Yeah.
I watch it on the VODs website, so I don't watch on like straight from Twitch or YouTube. And I really like the little right side, left side. Fuck it.
Oh, where it
one
tells you
side.
the
Yes,
gold
the stats,
and all that?
the gold and everything.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's only
'cause I
when
take
you're watching
notes.
live, right?
Yes, only when it's not even on the
That's
VOD.
disappointing. I wish it would be on the VODs.
Yes, me too. But I do like it. It's very helpful. It's useful.
The VODs turn into YouTube links after the fact, so...
Well, no, like there's the VOD page on the LoL esports page.
Yeah.
But they're
Like,
YouTube.
They're
They're
YouTube videos.
ones.
They're not their own. They're not their own live video anymore.
It's still not. They always do it through YouTube or Twitch.
Oh.
When you're watching live, it's through YouTube or Twitch. Although the stats thing, I think, only runs through Twitch, but that's probably a deal they had with Twitch. or
It's not.
something.
Well, it's not even on Twitch. It's only on.
Yeah, I know, on their website, and that's the thing. It's on their website. It's their own API that's running.
Yeah.
I wish they would sync it up so you could still pull up that stats.
Oh yes, I would
'Cause
very much like that.
It seems like there's no good reason they can't.
Maybe it's coming. Maybe
They probably
they
just don't
were
save the
rushing this
data,
out.
honestly.
Or maybe
Yeah.
they had a deal where they got it first on there.
Or yeah, it's probably a deal like with Twitch because I think you can look at it when you're watching the YouTube side of it on live.
No.
Because live you can watch Twitch or YouTube. So, but yeah, so it might be a deal they did like Twitch was like, hey, we'll pay you to do that cool thing, but only on ours. So
Well, you mean like on the Twitch website?
no.
Yeah.
So when you're on the league website
Yeah.
watching, you can watch live YouTube or Twitch.
Yes, like from the YouTube or Twitch. channel
I've never
itself.
seen the toggle.
Yeah, like because I mean it's just putting it in a frame.
Yeah.
And the stats only shows up on Twitch, I think.
Well, if you're on like Twitch.com and
No,
you're
no, but
watching
I know no
Yes.
on the league one. If you switch it
Oh,
to
I
watch
never
the
knew that.
YouTube
I've never
thing,
even like changed
Yeah,
it. I've
I-
never.
I-
yeah,
had
that's
like
what I'm
the-
saying. It's on the league site because it's
Yeah.
always streaming through those two services.
That's
They don't
pretty
stream
interesting.
directly at
I
all.
yeah, I wonder why they can only do it on the league website. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I think they only do it with the Twitch. I mean, I don't know. There's reasons, I'm sure, but
More
part of it's
technical.
probably they don't record the data right now to sync it up later, which is disappointing, but who knows. Yeah, I don't know. So
I like
you
that.
like it overall?
I think it's fun. It's great to get to get
Anything
to
you
know the
don't
characters.
like about LCS after your first season?
Moo. Fucking
All right, Chase.
I was actually gonna say that Afromoo is my favorite part of this split. Like after just crapping on him all of last split.
See, okay, maybe that's what it is. Like, was the last split your first time watching it, or I guess LCS? Like,
This is year 3, right? Like, I mean, this is technically. Well, no, this is only season 2. Did we?
For you, yeah, this is the full second season. Season 1 of League of Vloggers was just Worlds for that season before.
Oh yeah.
so
that's
basically,
right,
yeah, we all go
This-
through the first season. Or like
This
one
is
first time,
you've
it's
you
fucking
watched. This is your very first split.
Yeah.
This is
This
my
is
third
his
split.
Yeah, his second year.
good. Okay.
So, did you have anything other than the Afro Mode thing? I mean, compared to previous season splits, whatever for you.
Well, so like the big craziness that I mean we've gone into much detail about before, but like how much swapping happens in between splits between.
I was shocked that there's still that much this time. Holy shit!
Yeah, like I mean that was pretty crazy because like I mean I had teams in which I came to know and love, and then that team was no longer that team anymore.
That's gonna happen.
It
It
could
could.
happen.
Usually, it's between seasons more so than splits.
I figure definitely more through.
I mean, there'll still be some changes
I
between
got-
splits.
I wouldn't be
worked so
surprised.
Generally,
hard
the
to bring
worst
people.
teams make moves between splits.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple changes here and there, but I bet for the most part we will largely see the same teams going into
Yeah.
the summer
I mean,
split.
The big surprise last year between splits was Cloud9 benching half their roster, and then we ended up with Zazel being the only new, like, and Blabber got some playing, Golden Blue did as well, but Zazel ended up being the only new player who stayed on the roster kind of thing, between splits. But yeah, oh yeah, Alan, absolutely, I do hope Fantasy LCS comes back. Fantasy LCS was missing,
That would be a lot of fun.
because they're revamping it. Also, for the purpose of predictions, because Fantasy LCS will be like, so-and-so is starting, this player is not. That way you can change your fucking fantasy roster.
Nice.
So I could know if fucking Meteos is playing,
Yeah.
or if Dardock's playing before the fucking game starts!
Or the wiggly.
Yeah, when CLG subbed 2 players, had I known that, I would have not picked CLG to win a game. Fucking hell. But no, like, if Fantasy LCS is back, we will be putting it in the Discord and
Yeah,
stuff.
we'll
we
do
will
a-
be running a League of Vloggers
Yep,
league.
yep.
Or multiple if there's too many people.
But they won't do that just for the second split, will they? Or
they
could
might, yeah, because it's split individual.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I
because
look
the
forward
splits
to it.
are really just self-contained
I
seasons.
guess I'm learning that because I'm feeling like it's got to be like the whole thing almost. But if they're pretty much independent,
Yeah, the only thing that carries over between the 2 splits is points
It's-
towards Worlds.
the playoffs, right?
And the
Playoff
points are pretty
Yeah, the points from
minuscule.
playoffs
Yeah,
towards Worlds, exactly.
The points that are awarded during this split are pretty minuscule compared to the points.
They're
next
they're
split.
only just they're shifted down a spot is all. Just because first place auto qualifies next split.
Yeah.
So it's not minuscule. It's slightly like 20 lower or 10 lower.
It's like
depending on his position.
90,000 lower.
Yeah, like it still matters a lot.
Yeah.
But no, that'd be fun. Yeah, we will definitely be running a league as soon as LCS, Fantasy LCS.
We could probably do a
again.
fun one and maybe like a $5 bracket one.
Could do that
Or-
too.
not
Do a fun
that.
run?
Yeah.
Do a fun run.
No.
Funs are not fun.
So no, they're not. You're right. I always thought that was a jumbo shrimp. I should add that just like to lists of oxymoron. When people are like jumbo shrimp, Big E Smalls, fun run.
Is
No,
that
for me-
jumbo shrimp thing for the Jacksonville?
No, jumbo shrimp. Just it's an oxymoron.
Well, they changed their baseball team name to the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
That's awesome.
Yes.
They're
From
now
the
my
Jacksonville
favorite team.
Suns.
They're the Suns now.
No, they were the Suns.
Okay,
now
no,
they're the Jumbo
they are
Shrimp.
now my favorite team. Baseball.
I think
I
so.
like
It's
baseball
not, I
now,
don't even think
apparently.
it's MLB. I think it's like the other.
No, it's definitely
Coming
not
from
Major. If
Jacksonville,
it was
I heard
Major
about it.
League Baseball, it'd be like how in the LCK there was the BBQ Olivers and they were fried chicken. It was great.
We had
Yeah.
the T-Rexes.
So- For me, like I've got to say, just the LCS. This split, what stood out to me is the worst teams. As bad as like 100 Thieves, Clutch, Fox, Bennett, at times, whatever, Optic. Overall, the bad teams aren't that terrible. Like, I feel like all of them have pretty simple fixes. Like, even last year with, like, Golden Guardians, it was like, what can they fix? Get a new team.
Did they?
Right?
Did
They
they do it?
did, yeah.
They got a new mid, they got a new mid and a new top.
All right.
And, I mean, when you swap out two of your
And a new
solo
support.
laners... No, JJ was there last year.
Ole.
Ole.
Oh, that's right. God, fucking damn it. JJ's on, not Optic. FlyQuest, thank you. Yeah, so yeah, they got 3 new fucking players out of 5.
Well, good for them. They're doing all right.
So, like, yeah,
Yeah, no,
they got a new...
I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, for as much as I hated seeing Fox get obliterated last, like between...
Oh, yeah. But, like,
I was like,
broken up.
I was like, Golden Guardians getting Haunter, getting Ole, getting Froggen. I was like, well, I didn't really know Froggen, but I was like, he's gotta be better.
It's gotta be better.
Then Mickey, who, like, just fucked off and left for Korea one day in the middle.
Yeah.
That was interesting. But no, like, I think the worst teams, like, I mean, honestly, let's just say 100 Thieves, like, I don't feel like their fix is blow up the whole team. They have Bang, they have Someday. I think they're very good. They've swapped out the mid layer. He's looking, like, he could get better for sure because he's new. Yeah. He's looking pretty okay to start with. Yeah. And I don't think Onda's bad either. I think, like, the team cohesion's garbage, and I think Afromu, if he was playing, like, old Afromu, that team would be a lot better. But even so, like, they have 4 wins. They'll probably end at 4 wins. They might pick up 1 or 2 still. It's still fucking possible that they win either of their...
I agree with Alan here. He thinks that they can get better by either dropping Afro or Afro Moo. I think they both need to go. Fuck them.
I love that he meant Onda, but
yeah.
He wrote what's actually real. But yeah, no, like... I'm sorry, dropping Afro or Afro Move start being a world-class support again. So no, he was saying what we are. Like, you either have to replace Afro or...
I just want Afro and Afro to go away.
Like, if Afro Move plays like a year ago Afro Move, where he was very good, or a split ago Afro Move... Yeah, like, I mean, that would make that team very good. And at 4 wins, they could end with 6 still. I think it's more realistic they possibly end with 5. I think they'll probably end with 4. Like, I would say 4 is probably 50%, and then like a 30% chance it's probably like 60, 30, 10 that they end with 4 wins, 5 wins, 6 wins. But even then, 4 wins still better than that garbage Golden Guardians teams, and just as good as the second version of that the second split of that team. Like, and that team never seemed like they had a chance. This 100 Thieves teams, at a couple times, were like, well, actually, if they win this game, they're right in the thick of things. And they're still right in the thick of they're finally eliminated with only a week to go. Golden Guardians teams were eliminated with like 2.5 weeks to go.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. That's why they were the meme team to me.
Yeah.
I was like, I loved backing them because I knew they were gonna lose, and now it's like I love backing them because I hope they're gonna win.
Yeah.
But there's still a decent chance they might lose.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I think the big thing, like just the state of the league for me, is that top to bottom, I think the competition's really good. And the top teams, mostly Team Liquid, still very dominant. I think Cloud9 has definitely had their hiccups, but they look really good still too. The question is, can any of them, whoever wins, can they perform at MSI?
The answer is no.
I'm excited for that. So I keep hearing all this shit about like shit in the bed at internationals.
Yeah.
So you know.
And to be fair, actually, we've seen all the top teams from the other leagues also shit the bed recently. G2, did they lose to? Was their loss to Rogue or Rogue's one win? Was it against G2? They lost to like one of the bottom like 2-3 teams, like a team that was eliminated from playoffs with like 2-3 weeks to go. G2 lost to them.
LEC
And they-
now.
LEC? Oh yeah, LEC. Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about
Yeah,
right now?
G2, yeah.
Then I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I mean, but G2 like lost to a bottom team. Also, yes, I did see the game against Fnatic. Fucking bonkers ass ending. I don't know if either of
I
you went.
didn't watch it.
I
Sorry.
haven't watched
I
Just watch for like the last 10 minutes of it. It's fucking crazy. And then in the LCK, Griffin dropped a game to like
Tier 2?
Jin Air or some shit.
I don't think it was to Jin Air.
They lost to some
To
shit ass
Gen
team
G.
though.
They lost to Gen G,
Oh,
and then they lost the next
Gen
day
G,
too.
who's also like garbage tier right now.
So they lost both of their days.
But yeah, well, and the other
On
one was
the same
to
weekend.
no, they beat SKT.
They beat it. That was last
Yeah.
time though. This
But
past
yeah,
week they went to.
Like, we've seen that. All these other leagues, like, the top teams are losing too. Like, there's nobody walking into MSI going, I am untouchable, which is usually the case from, like, 2 or 3 leagues. So, maybe NA can, like, get in there, because they're like, hey, we're kind of bad too!
Is that how we're like, on this level, we suck as well, so it's okay. We'll see you there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're like, if Cloud9 makes it, they're like, we lost to Echo Fox and CLG! And then Team Liquid, I mean, we lost to TSM and FlyQuest, which are still, like, mid-tier teams.
I think we'll see probably MSI go not so well for NA, but we'll probably do better at Rift Rivals this year.
Does that matter? The Rift Rivals? Does it
No.
count? Yeah.
No, it's straight up bragging rights,
Okay,
which, I mean,
that's what I thought.
NA and EU, it's all about the bragging rights.
Well, if like
Fucking
most
Leck
NA
My Balls. Who names their
Yeah.
league Leck My Balls?
They could have named it Ligma.
Yeah.
We should have named it Leck My
no, what's Ligma?
Oh,
I know, okay.
can't say that.
Got it! He has a reflex. He's like, oh, after answer.
My bad. I'm sorry. To taunt you
Triggered.
with that.
I'm triggered now.
IG's doing okay. RNG is leading the LPL right now, and they have lost games to lower tier teams as well. I think they have 2 losses.
I will say that watching this, I really like the production that they put, that Riot, I guess, puts out.
NA's production.
Or State
yeah,
Farm,
no,
whoever pays for it.
It's a Riot.
This year,
they get paid
or
by
this
that.
split is even better than it was last split. Like
Because they're doing the zooming out the minimap and shit now?
Yeah, well, zooming out the mini map.
And that's just been like 3
like
weeks ago.
the Baron stuff. Like I think that the Baron stuff is better. I
Made it
think
a little
that
better,
the
The
what do you want to
inhib
call them?
timers,
The inhibitor.
they started those at Worlds last year.
Was
I
that what it
think.
was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that was a recent thing too. Like it's only been like 3 weeks, so they've been like enlarging the minimap or like highlighting a portion of it or something. Like
You could draw on that shit, man. I'm like,
that's
yeah,
all
good
brand new
job,
too.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Like all those
I
things
needed
are
that.
like. It's funny because I say it about their website all the time, where it's like, do they not like take people who actually watch real like normal sports? Like athletic competitions and be like, why don't you guys do this? Because like the increasing the minimap and just fucking drawing a line or circling something.
It's very
Thank you,
helpful.
John Madden's been doing that since the 80s.
So in the LCK in their matches, the team whoever's controlling the camera, after like a big play, they might even like zoom that shit in like right down on Faker's little character while she's
They do
being
it
or something.
some
I'm
in
like, that's so
LCS, but
cool.
it's very uncommon. They
Yeah.
do it every now and then. Usually
Not
it's safe
like
for like the
during a
replays after a match or
team
something.
fight or
though.
something. But
to
it'd
be
be
fair, it was
afterwards, just be
Faker that was
fancy.
backing or doing whatever. So it's like people are more interested in watching Faker back than
That's
anyone else do basically anything else on the
yes.
Rift.
But it's cool how they can unlock that camera and bring it down right to like the level. I think that's cool.
Yeah,
they're doing
they
that.
can do it in NA, they just don't
I'm
very
sure,
often at
yeah.
all.
There are like unofficial mods in which you can use to do that with like your own replays, but
Yeah.
I made one where I did that with Ari, but that was like, I swear to God, guys, I hate learning things. I really do. I stopped, like, I got bored with it real quick. So.
Coach's Corner, he'll teach you.
Yeah.
I can't wait till Coach has to play Ari. Oh my god.
Yes. when is
Bastard.
this?
He only plays Blitzcrank. By the way. Well, he plays Blitzcrank Nautilus and used to play Thresh. He played Rakan for a short bit. Is there anything else Jeff plays right now?
I
It's
can't really
just
sit
Blitz
here
and
and say
Nautilus.
how little you play because my champion pool is Warwick.
Oh, true. Oh my
I
god,
love hearing this,
we
but
can
mine
do
is well, too.
we can split it. Coach and Viking do it. Coach's Corner.
I cannot sit here and crap on anyone for only playing a few champs because I am legit a one trick.
Same.
Yeah, you are. You're right.
Two.
Like,
I
I
like
can
Karma.
play
I
other
like that.
champions and I can do pretty well, but basically a one trick.
The longest I was a one trick was as Vigar.
Really?
I did the
He's
entire.
OP, though.
I did the entire end of a season as him, and I was crushing.
I did the
bitches.
entire season.
Actually, no. When I first started playing, I was a Sona one trick, or not when I first started playing ranked. So beginning all of season 3, I was basically a Sona one trick, but that was back when I could ward the whole map myself, bitches. I just had a big old fucking bag of wards like I was Vision Santa Claus and ran around the goddamn map. It was glorious.
Good times.
But alright, I think that's gonna do it for League of Vloggers unless anybody has something else.
Negative. I really
Chase?
like all the extra stuff
I
that you do
don't have
with the
anything
players.
additional.
It's fun.
I think
I like watching it, like on the Sunday.
Yeah,
I think overall, like I said, production value is going up, or like you guys have said.
overall, I dislike the After Games show on Sunday.
Why?
Cause
They do
like no,
did you see
they're having
the
fun.
toilet paper.
This was one of the best episodes by far.
Okay, because I was about to say that was
far.
fucking cool.
I think most of the games they play are pretty boring.
Yeah.
And I don't care so much. They used to have the cooldown. I think it's still called the cooldown or whatever. But the after show used to actually be like a quick half an hour review of the weekend.
Yeah.
And it was like the analyst, so it was like Zyrene and Freak and
Shit, they could add
Kobe.
that on there, and I'd watch that too.
Yeah, it was just like
Like,
Freak would host it, and they would have like 2 people, and he'd be like, had some questions. Like they would do a mini League of Vloggers about the games that just happened that day and the day before, and I loved that because it was you'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, or I didn't think about that in context. Like for me, being a nerd who wants to watch something like this, wants to watch something like Travis Gafford's Hotline League, wants to watch more so The Dive. Like I love watching that.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, I love those more so than, all right, let's shoot rubber bands at toilet. Like that one was great, but like it's entertaining. But I feel like
probably the viewer numbers are probably more. If you're gonna do something entertaining after watching, like I mean,
Yeah,
not
no,
to
I
say
agree.
that League isn't entertaining in itself, but like if you don't have something to like keep you hooked, like oh we're gonna be silly, like I'll keep watching that, like oh we're gonna dig into the numbers of why people did this or
and
that.
it's the difference
I could see
between
people clicking
a
close that
League
window.
viewer and me as a sports viewer.
Yeah.
As a sports person, I watch post-game shows where they go, okay, this is why the Bulls sucked again today. Like, let's break down their defense. Let's break down their substitute. Like a post-game show where they can just talk about the shit that just happened, and they do a little bit of that between games, but they don't always do like a real broad thing. And it's nice to see like a broad breakdown of the league. For me, it's almost like it was like watching a Sports Center.
Yeah.
Where I would just be like, okay, what's everything that happened in the NFL today? Where do these teams stand? Like,
I've never intentionally watched Sports Center.
oh, I watched so much Sports Center.
I think
But
they
I
do
like
that
sports,
after the
and that's
game.
why I'm saying like it's the difference between me as a sports fan as compared to people who are LCS esports fans.
I don't even
It's
watch
not.
the after
There's not a
show
lot of
shit
crossover.
as it is.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I might tune out once they start talking about the game right afterwards. But I feel like if you, that's the equivalent of what yours is. They talk about the games as they happen right afterwards, and
Yeah.
then the funny just blah shit is on Sunday afterwards. And I like that because it's fun and I'm lazy
Yeah.
and not
But-
creative. So
All right. Well,
it's-
I think. But overall, we're all happy with LCS this
oh
split.
yeah, it's really cool.
We've got 1 week left. We all think Golden Guardians is gonna make it. Fox
CLG.
believes Fox actually, but picking CLG.
Yeah. Thank you for being technical about it.
Yeah.
I'll be different,
That
but
way-
I'll be salty
that way if
about
it's
it, salty
CLG's
about it when it doesn't work
If
out.
CLG is right, you win.
Yes.
And if Fox is right, you still don't like
Are
totally
we
lose.
betting something on that, by the way? Oh, and when do they do the
do we wanna do a burger bet?
matches?
If they do
Is it
tiebreakers,
Sunday?
it would be on Monday.
Oh, Monday. So, but before we do this.
Yes, because it's like during the day.
Okay,
They just
cool.
like get them out of the way.
Cool, that's awesome.
I think they probably would start at like
Burgers,
noon.
Or what do y'all want? Burritos? I don't know.
Something
Crunchwrap
that's
Supreme.
easy.
Okay, food.
Ooh, Taco
Taco
Bell.
Bell. Yes.
Taco Bell.
You could order like food for us for a week for like $8.
Off Taco John's, we could get a 6-pack and a pound.
No,
Oh,
no.
Taco
The difference
John's.
between Taco John's and Taco Bell is
One is good and the other one's Taco Bell.
yes.
Wait, is it really good?
You've never had Taco John's? Okay, we're getting you Taco John's at some point. This is
Okay.
happening.
It's
Never.
just like good. Whereas,
It has meat instead of beans, or meat and potatoes instead of meat and beans.
Okay. Meat and potatoes, I like that way better.
right?
I don't like beans.
Potato Olays is
Potato Olays.
All right, so we're having me Taco John's. Are we doing Taco John's?
Kev,
with
what's
the bet?
Taco John's?
Bell?
Come out here and visit us. There's one here, which is weird because it's like one of the furthest ones
No,
west.
no. It is the furthest one west.
Oh, there's not one further west of Montana?
I don't think so.
We'll have to double check. Fact check after the episode. But anyway, Taco Bell bet, or tacos of some sort bet.
It should be a Taco Bell bet because you're gonna have to drive up to fucking
That's true.
like way
Yeah,
north.
there's one right here in Colorado for Taco Bell. So
Wait, right here? Where's right here?
on
He's
Colorado.
talking about Taco John, though.
Taco Bell. There's
Oh,
one here.
I was talking about Taco John's.
I know, and I said it for Taco Bell.
I didn't
There's
hear
one
the.
I said those words.
I'm sorry.
Check the tape. Anyway, that's gonna do it for us here at League of Vloggers, episode 9. Even though I called it episode 8.
Whatever.
Cheers.
I'm excited.